Hello everybody, and just here and welcome back to Symphogear GX episode 6. Uh, right. In the last episode, it seems like we went a little bit up on the roller coaster of hope, despair, because we now have two brand new, well, not brand new, I guess, kinda, sorta. We have two Ignite Symphogear Ignites, whatever you want to call them. Ameno Habakiri and Chris's relic, whose name I forgot. They were fixed thanks to Elf9, and better than ever, it would seem, because they can stand against the Alkanoids. Who couldn't stand against Alkanoids were Kirika and Shirabe, and their relics were shattered. So now I guess they will have to get their Ignite versions, their relics will have to be fixed. And of course, also Hibiki's relic, because hers is also broken. And how exactly do the Ignite relics work? How strong will they exactly be, especially when it comes to fight against the Autoscorers? Well, that remains to be seen. Because Alkanoids, sure, they're dangerous, but they are just grunts, really. I think I hit a hair in my mouth. There are just grunts. The real mini bosses, I guess, this time around, are the Autoscorers, and the boss is the little witch. Her name starts with C, but I forgot what her name is. Oh well. Oh well, so yeah, how will the fight against Autoscorers go? We don't know. Chokeberry, Aronia, and Dogrose. Chokeberry and Aronia are the same. So Chokeberry, Dogrose, and Hibiscus. Yeah, that's the tea I'm having right now. And one more question is, how will Hibiki deal with it all? Right? Because she was brought up by Miku in the second to previous episode, but from what she said in the infirmary when she woke up, she's still not entirely sure about it. She goes by, okay, Miku said that this is the case, so I'm gonna trust Miku, but there isn't really any conviction in her voice, there isn't really any conviction in what she says. So that's going to be a very interesting thing. And what's gonna happen when it comes time to fight with Carol? Carol, that's the name of the little witch. How will Hibiki deal with that? Will she try to talk no jutsu? Probably. Will it fail? Probably. Will she be able to actually fight Carol hand in hand to hand against hand? Remains to be seen. One detail that someone told me, I was wondering what's the deal with Alkanoids being damaged by regular weapons. Apparently I was more or less correct in my assumption that the Alkanoids are trading their defensive capabilities for increased offensive capabilities. They are easier to kill, but they also have an easier time killing. And do I have it noted somewhere? No. Drat. I wish I did. Yeah, I don't have it noted, but I mentioned it and I was correct for the most part. Does anything else need to be said? No. No, not really. Not really. I still have no clue what's the deal with Carol collecting songs and why do they have to be particularly strong. Is she using Auwachen waveforms? I don't know. How can she take the songs from people by, I don't know, killing them? No, she doesn't want to kill the ones who have strong songs. She wants to shatter their Symphogears, their relics. To what end? She's not taking them. She's not sucking out their power. So what's the deal? Are maybe Auwachen waveforms and Symphogear the only thing that can stand against her? So she's not collecting strong songs as much as she's getting rid of them? I don't know. 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 It very much seems like Carol is using our characters to their and to her ends, whatever those ends might be. Probably some sort of an apocalypse. Because if she wanted to get rid of them, she could have shattered their relics and then taken the shards, right? Or maybe even melted the shards or deleted them in some other way, but she didn't. So that's interesting. That's interesting, and I'm interested in seeing where she's gonna go from here. But to see what's going to happen, to see where this series, this season is going, you guys need your subs. And I, of course, need my sound. And I also need to remind you of support. You can support me on Patreon and you can get early access to Symphogear, or you can support me on Throne, or you can also support me without spending any money by sharing my content. It really does matter a lot, the word of mouth, for the growth of a channel. And with all that out of the way, we can start watching Symphogear GX episode 6 in 3, 2, 1, go. Elf9? No, not Elf9. Carol and Father. Arnim. I like his Bloodborne costume. The Alps? It does seem like it's the Alps. How did you get that from what your father said? I'm still raking my brain for how the fuck did she misunderstand her father this badly? Her father says, go and tour the world, see the sights, and she's like, yep, apocalypse. Her father says, oh, I want to know everything about the world. This is the beginning of humanity being able to live together and understand each other. And she's like, yep, guess what? Apocalypse. How do you get from one to the other? I don't know. I genuinely have no clue. Again, I have to go back to my theory from the previous episode that maybe she just removed her positive memories and, I don't know, positive emotions and moved them to Elf9. And so that only the negatives remain in her own mind. I don't know. Also, one thing we learned from the previous episode is that two Symphogear users can synchronize with each other, like Shirabe and Kirika. And they don't necessarily even need Hibiki's power for that, which is very interesting. Unsheath. Is it about the blade that whose shard Elf9 had? Okay, let's see how... You can just not point cameras at them? That's a solution? Okay, we know that Ignites have no issues with Alkanoids, but how does it go against Autoscorers? New song? A duet? Yep. Ichiaval, yeah, that's the name. Ichiballs. Almost forgot. It's about enhancing them. Yep. Okay. That's useful. Where'd you get the cloaks from? And yes, you would be in the way, indeed. At least until you get your own ignites. Time to fight the boss. Oh, a small sword inside of a big sword. That's cool. Megadeth Fuga? No, no, not quite. There's the hexagons. The power of hexagons compels you. Oh, the boob jiggle, though. Oh, hello, Carol. Ain't gonna be easy. I have no doubt. So how are we gonna solve this issue? They're not gonna defeat Carol, that's for sure. So is Carol gonna retreat eventually, or what's gonna happen? A harp? Faust robe of the Daurabla. Okay, so she has her own Symphogear. Cool. And her boobs are growing? Why not? Of course. I guess the side effect of using this relic is being aged up. Yep. Piano strings, essentially. Yeah, that's an interesting way of fighting. Fire and water. She's an elementalist, an alchemist, so makes sense. Yeah, she's not singing, she's playing. From her instrument. Hmm? Okay. Okay. Okay, interesting. Oh, so she's messing up with her own memories to harness the power. So that's probably why she's misremembering her father's wishes. She's using up her own memories as power. Why is she aged up though? Oh, and she continues calling her senpai. That's cool. Yeah, that's not enough. Not quite. Drill that will pierce the heavens. Going all, whatchamacallit, the spinny tops with launchers. Fuck, not Bakugan. Bakugan were the balls. Those were... Ah, fuck. How could I forget the name for it? But yeah, that's what she did with her drill. They are. Suicide Song? Oh. Second Henshin? Dine's Life? Not sure how much of a fan I am of this robotic voice saying Dine's Life. Okay, so not quite a Suicide Song. More like a Sicko Mode. That's the true Project Ignite. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Sicko Mode. It is. It is a function, it very much is. Yep. You can go Sicko Mode, but in a controlled manner. So now everybody gets Sicko Mode, and that's apparently the power of the Dine's Life. Yep. They can harness this power. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm glad Carol gives them time to go through this entire second henshin though. I guess she likes playing fair and square. Sing for noise. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so some doubt from within their minds is resurfacing. Very similar doubt to what Chris was going through, to what Hibiki was going through recently. Are you though? Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay, I thought that Canada is going to bring her out of her current state, but apparently it only got worse. And they haven't even henshined fully, second henshined. is half this episode is just gonna be screaming and being in their minds. But something's going to go tits up really soon. Yeah. Did they though? Right, of course. The Dying's Life brings out the biggest darkness in each of their hearts, their biggest fears, their biggest regrets. Yep. She's deeply scared of being alone, of being a failure. Okay, the power of hand-holding will help them. Second henshin complete. Or did it just fizzle out? Okay, so it did just fizzle out. Despair. And then hope. Oh. Gangnir Ignite? I thought she was working only on Ichiaval and Ameno Habakiri. Oh, a Noise Broodmother. Alkanoise Broodmother, I guess. I love the noise. How imaginative they are. They are either turn into like drills or they turn into buzz saws. Yeah, ain't gonna work. It's not even flying on its own, it has little fucking propellers. Okay. That attack came from the submarine, I'm assuming. The trio is complete again. True. Okay, so have faith in Symphogear. Okay, that's a very interesting angle. They weren't personifying their Symphogears so far. They were just tools, all things considered. But right now, this stupid fucking robotic voice. But right now, they treat their Symphogears as their partners of sorts. Okay, so I was correct that half the episode is just gonna be screaming. I believe in you! I believe in you! Have my power! Have my power! And there it is. A true second henshin. Oh, okay. We're getting actual, like, second form. And some great music to accompany it. Dying's Life runes floating around. That's a very cool henshin and some very cool forms. Blackened color instead of whitened color. Yeah, how about you also get your Symphogear ignited, Maria? Or your sister's Symphogear, rather. Let's see the power of... yeah, of ignites. Energy sword, okay. I like it. Their entire weapons and everything else just becomes altered. Except Chris, she just uses rockets and grenades, as always. Except now her rockets have grenades. Haha! Except far as I understand it, that power has limits, time limits. Yeah, just punch real fucking hard. She just turned into a fireball. Okay, I'm down. Now splatter her head on the wall. And you're gonna let her go, aren't you? They didn't, because Carol is just gonna bail right now. Because of course. Okay, of course. So my theory already confirmed. It just did save, like, hundreds of people that your Alkanoids would have otherwise killed. Cyanide pill? Or is she just gonna wake up in her little mansion on the throne? Yeah, she's gonna be reborn. Probably. Okay. 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 Great. Some great character development for Hibiki. I thought that she's gonna, like, immediately revert to how she was and, yes, you're right, I wasn't able to save you, Carol, you're right. Symphogear power can only kill. But no. Now she actually has the conviction again. She actually believes that Symphogear can save people. Or if it cannot save people, then she will damn sure make sure that it will save people. If the purpose of Symphogear isn't saving, then Hibiki's gonna reforge that purpose. I like it. Studio Don Juan. Never noticed it before. The CG petals, though, they still bother me. Anything after credits? No. No, that's just it. That's just the end. Okay. Okay. That was a cool episode, so how about we go through it again? Shall we? Right, memories of her father. And, okay, so we know that Carol burned away the memories of why she wants to destroy the world. Question is, how did she come to the conclusion that she wants to destroy the world in the first place? That's still unclear. I was correct on the account that she burns her memories. I was not correct on the account that because of the burning memories, she misremembered her father's wishes. She misunderstood her father's wishes even before she started burning away her memories, it seems. Through the transmutation of memories into power, I will complete the apocalypse of all creation. Sure, whatever you say, Carol. I like how even in such dire situations we have a little bit of a time for comedy. Really like it. Why are you objecting so desperately? Because he wants to do his fucking job. And Ignite relics, even on their own, are still leagues above regular relics. Adjusted barrier field to resist the disintegration, adjusted power output, so even on their own they're more powerful, and then they also have the Sicko Mode switch. Would we just be in the way? Yes, you would be. Yes, you would be, but, like, don't hold it against yourself, because they, even like Chris and Tsubasa, were defeated earlier, and they needed a whole brand new fixed and tuned and upgraded and improved relics to be able to put up a fight. So, like, I wouldn't want her to, like, hold it against herself that, oh, those hyper tuned and upgraded mega giga super ultra ignite users are dealing with the alkanoids, but I couldn't because you're not in the same power ballpark. So I hope she doesn't hold it against herself. Is what I'm trying to say. Some great combat. Been a while since we got those, like, breakdancing moves. Executioner's Sword. I like how even in their non-ignite form, they have some cool surprises for us. Like Tsubasa's little sword inside of the big sword. I don't know why I liked it so much, but I really did like it. That she just pulled a small sword out of a big sword. Why didn't she transform her big sword back to the small sword? I don't know. She just... Who am I to question it? She just did it. Because of course she did. Piece of cake. Alas, Carol has appeared, and Carol isn't a piece of cake. I mean, with the Ignite power, she does turn out to be a piece of cake, but I refuse to believe that it is the end of Carol. She knows alchemy, she knows how to create whole-ass, not doppelgangers, homunculi, right? Elf9 is her homunculus, so Carol probably has like 100 little vats with other bodies, and she just transfers her consciousness into whichever one she needs to. That also might be why how she stays alive for so many years, right? Harp, I really like the idea of using instruments to create Auwachen waveforms or something similar to them. Right? So far it's been songs, but I like the idea of music also being able to do that, as in musical instruments. Although, I guess it also shows us the difference between our team and Carol, songs are very personal, right? They flow from your heart, as it was described. The song of your heart is what powers the Symphogear, is what powers the relic. Carol uses something very impersonal. She uses a tool to kickstart another tool, is what she's doing, essentially. That music isn't flowing from her heart, she just knows the sequence of strings to create a waveform to awaken her relic. It's just that. She just plugs a charger into her relic and presses a button, and the relic starts up. Very impersonal, very tool-like. And even what's going on later creates even more of that contrast, where Chris, Tsubasa, and Hibiki start personifying their, well, maybe not quite personifying, but they're starting to bond with their relics, right? Oh, this relic was with me this whole time. It's a relic that saved me. It's a relic that this, that, right? It's my companion. It's my friend. That kind of a train of thought. Meanwhile, Carol is treating relics purely as tools. Very nice bit of a contrast. Faust, robe of the Daurdabla. Faust, we all know who Faust is. But what the fuck is Daurdabla? Daurdabla. Final Fantasy 11 wiki. Daurdabla is an Empyrean weapon. Daurdabla home point 11 wiki. Okay, so it's a weapon from Final Fantasy, apparently. Robe of Daurdabla, robe of weapon. Empyrean weapon. Okay, Daurdabla level 85. It's a harp. Well, not a harp. It's like a small. Like harp is the big one that you put on the on the floor, and there's the small one that you hold. It's not a lute. It's a oh, whatever. Google it yourselves. Okay, so the robe of a musical instrument. I did not expect her to get a henshin, but it's not unwelcome. Why is she getting aged up? Beats me. I've no clue. It probably has some significance. What significance? I don't know. Is it her real age? Is it what? I like her hat, very similar to her father's hat. Very Bloodborne-like. This should be sufficient. Yeah, it is sufficient. You don't need your boobs to be any bigger. They're the perfect size, in fact. Getting bigger won't save you. Yeah, getting bigger maybe not, but her sheer power will save her. She isn't singing, she's burning up her memories. Yeah. Okay, interesting. They're combusted and lost. And of course, she has a response to everything. Trump card. Sicko Mode. Now, here it actually makes sense that they're holding their Symphogear in their arm, because it unfolds, creates a spike, and pierces them through the chest. Doesn't make sense during their first henshin that they just rip it off their neck and just hold it in their stretched hand. This stupid fucking robotic voice, though. Why? Why was it needed? Wouldn't it be better if you had each of them scream this name out? Right? Dein Life! Dein Life, ignite! Or something like that. You have this stupid ass robotic voice. It's really, really campy, like Power Rangers levels of campy. Like it's like a morpher, right? You click a sequence of numbers on your morpher phone. It says Dine's life and morphs you, right? It's why. Why? Just why? It's entirely unnecessary, and even if it is necessary, it could have been done so much better. Symphogear possesses functions that can turn the tide of battle, and the X drive. Yeah, but also there is another. There is the Sicko Mode. And Project Ignite can harness this berserk power, so that hopefully you can actually use it. You can actually harness it. Not succumb to it, not let it run free, but utilize it. And let me Google Dine's Life again. Because it's an actual mythological weapon. Genshin Impact Wiki. Of course, Genshin would be the first fucking result. Actual Wikipedia is like 10 results down. Dine's Life, King Hogni's sword, according to Snorri Sturluson account of the battle known as the Hjadningavgir. Hogni replies, I have drawn Dine's Life, which the dwarves made, and which must cause a man's death every time it is bared, nor ever fails its stroke. Yeah. Moreover, the wounds heals not if one be scratched with it. Yeah, okay, so that's the curse of Dine's Life. If you unsheath it, someone dies. No way around it. I guess they kind of modified it because not... I guess Carol dies, but by her own hand, not by Dine's Life. So what exactly is the curse of Dine's Life in the context of Symphogear? Maybe just the curse of Berserk Mode. And just that, the curse of possibly losing control over yourself and actually killing someone. Do the runes actually spell something, anything this time around? Gkasetinidain Sleifeit. Okay, Dine Slave. Dine Slave. I see Dine Slave. Okay, I actually see something that makes sense. Dine Slave. From you don't see my cursor. From here. This is D A I N S L A F. Dine Slave. Something actually makes sense. So what's next? Eitleaopo. Okay, the rest doesn't make sense. Tiny Dine Slave. Okay, Dine Okay, something makes sense. Cool. I'm glad. And yeah, it brings Sicko Mode, it brings forth the darkness that exists within all hearts. That's why they're having the nightmares, bring all their biggest fears and biggest regrets, all that brought to life. But if you manage to pass through that, if you manage to harness this power, if you manage to suppress the urge to kill, to destroy, then you gain unlimited power. And of course, apparently she was rejected by her father, which is very interesting. Unless it's her nightmare, unless it's Dine's Life that's twisting what actually happened. You are no daughter of mine, and you're but a stained tool of the Kazanari family. That's harsh. And apparently that's when she decided to be a sword. That's not the impression I had initially. I initially thought that it was Kanade's death that made her get rid of her emotions, get rid of everything and just become a sword, to take to take shelter in her own mind, in her own apathy, essentially. But maybe it was even before then, that she decided to be a sword, and then Kanade brought her out of that state, and then she simply relapsed after Kanade died? Maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure. What's the deal with her father? We don't know that yet. Of course, the biggest fear, the biggest horror. They can take much more, should have conducted more testing. You didn't exactly have the time for that, though. And Chris, of course, also has a nightmare about just everybody fucking dying. Everybody being dead, and her being alone. This cruel world will slaughter everyone I care about. I thought it's gonna be the power of handholding that's gonna help them, but no, the power of handholding just allowed them to fizzle the power of Ignite out, not to work through it. Hibiki's relic got fixed, which is interesting, because I was under the impression that Elf 9 was working only on Ameno Habakiri and Ichiaval. But maybe when they brought Hibiki in, she also started working on Hibiki's relic. I'm not sure about that. Enhanced Gangnir, yeah. And Elf 9 sees something in Hibiki, doesn't she? Yeah, those moving light spots, not flickering, but like jittering light spots on her eyes. That signifies some emotion, some hope, some amazement, some awe over Hibiki. Interesting. I'm very much interested in where are they gonna take the character of Elf 9. Would be cool if she became their new like relic specialist. If she took the place of what was her name, of Ryoko, right? That'd be cool. And if she, where Ryoko was using like heretical technology, maybe Elf 9 can use some alchemy to help them create a new base or secure their current base, or maybe she can become kind of like Q, upgrading their relics and whatnot. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Maybe using shards of other relics to create new Symphogear, although they don't exactly have more members, so that's kind of a moot point. But yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be cool. Here comes the Broodmother, and would you look at that? The city is being destroyed. The people's dying screams will be your elegy. Again, I'm in absolute awe of the creativity here. How this Broodmother thing just has little propellers up top. It's a biological-ish thing. It's not technically biological, I don't think, but it looks biological, and yet it uses propellers. Mind blown, but also cool. Also, hexagons. Again, hexagons fucking everywhere. Another bit of being imaginative. Those little bat... not bat Symphogears. What the fuck am I even saying? Those bat noise that are just turning into bustles. Because why not? Because noise doesn't have to make sense. They're not living creatures. They're not something that has to exist. There's full like control. The creators of the show have full control over what the noise is, and they chose those noise to be bustles. Why not? Who's gonna stop them? They're trying their best, they're gonna pop their vessel, but they're not gonna transform. Because they need Hibiki to help them find their conviction. Let's not talk about that ever again. We might not survive. And of course, she passes on Miku's wisdom of the power of Symphogear saved her, and it should help us, the wielders, first of all. We can break the Dying's Life curse. And they start personifying their relics. With my old trusty companion, the Ameno Habakiri. With the Ichiaval that changed my life. And with the Gangnir, let us believe in the song of our hearts in our Symphogear. Again, personification of their Symphogear. They're creating a bond with their gears. Also... No, I misremembered something. Yeah, I thought that their Symphogears didn't have those black bits before. But they probably did. They probably did. Again, ignite, have courage and punch it with all your might. And this time the ignition works and we're getting some really cool second henshin. Some really cool butt shots, because why not? The tiger stance or whatever. And she even has little spikes on her boots. I like it. I really like the designs of their Ignite Symphogears. Of course, more ass shots, because of course, you can't have a henshin without some fan service. Is there some Chris service? Of course there is some Chris service. Why would there not be Chris service? They're glowing, they have a brand new song, and they have brand new power. 3000 is nothing with our newfound strength. Hibiki has a new form of her fist. Some brass knuckles that come built in. Third thruster. Tsubasa has an energy sword because, of course, because energy swords are cool. And Chris just has her good old rockets and grenades. Except the rockets look slightly different. And her rockets also have grenades. So, hey, I heard you like explosives, so you put explosives in your explosives. Hibiki is still crying on the inside from the pain of hurting others and being hurt in turn. Sure, but she can soldier through it. That's the difference. And that's an issue when it comes to fighting with chains or whips or stuff like that. When it gets tangled around your enemy's hand, they can just pull it and either pull you towards them or disarm you, and neither of those eventualities is particularly great for you. And it really wasn't great for Carol. And yeah, she burned her memories of why she wants to exterminate humanity. Don't think for one moment that this cursed melody of yours could ever save anyone. Why is she saying that? I don't know. Did the Symphogear user kill her parents? What's her deal? This is almost Anya face, but a little bit more sinister. And a cyanide pill. She dies, bursts into flames, and some stuff is going on the throne room. Some ribbons. What are those ribbons? How are the Autoscorers gonna use them? What's the deal? I don't know. Are the Autoscorers gonna bring Carol back? Is Carol gonna bring herself back? Or is Carol dead and the final boss of this season is genuinely just Autoscorers? But we heard from Carol that Autoscorers are no match for Ignite Relics, so what's gonna happen? I don't know. I don't know, but one thing I do know is that it ain't gonna be anything good, for sure. And I'm glad that Hibiki again found her conviction. That you're wrong, I'm gonna prove you wrong. And if you're not wrong, I'm gonna make it so that you are goddamn wrong. I like it. Yeah, I won't let that be true. Even if it is true, I'm gonna fucking change that. I'm not gonna let it be true. Simple as. I like it. I really, really did enjoy this episode. Okay. That was episode 6 of Symphogear GX, and I really did enjoy myself. It's high time for a second henshin, and it's an amazing henshin. It's a great second form. I was kinda maybe not taken aback, but kind of disappointed in the fact that their Ignite Symphogear didn't look any different initially, but it turns out that they were just simply hiding a second henshin, and I like it. I like that fact that if they just fight the grunts, essentially, if they just fight the noise, then they can just skip their first henshin, and when push comes to shove, they have second henshin to fall back onto. And perhaps they won't need to use their suicide songs, which is gonna be an interesting change in dynamic. Other question is, how dangerous is the continued use of the Ignite mode? Is it only that they had to break through the curse once? They had to get through all their memories and whatnot, through all the nightmare once, and from now on they can just use this system willy-nilly, except with some timer? Or will they have to go through this nightmare every single time they want to use Ignite mode? If the latter, it's gonna be interesting, because that means villains can potentially use Tokno Jutsu and lessen their power output, make them unable to use their Ignite mode, and that's a very interesting prospect, because from now on, if they want to use Ignite mode, it's not enough that they are strong physically and they have strong sync rate with their Symphogear, like it is the case with Suicide Song. They have to be strong mentally. They have to have the correct mindset, and they have to have a very strong conviction, and they have to, have the knowledge of what they're gonna go through, and the strength to go through with this transformation, the strength to harness the power of Sicko Mode. And that's a very interesting way of boosting their power. If it is the case, of course, if they can just use it willy-nilly, then it's gonna lose a little on the interestingness front, but it's still cool. I really like the looks of their second henshin. I really like their second henshins, the animation. Loved the music, really did. And I love their weapons. Can't really say much about Chris's weapons because they're just the same except different colors. But I loved Tsubasa's energy blade, and I love the fact that Hibiki, by the end, just turned herself into a fireball. That was cool. That was really, really, really cool. The question I have for the future, and something that makes me look forward to the future episodes, is what's gonna become of Carol, right? I really don't think she died permanently, but what's gonna happen? Are maybe Carol's memories gonna be reawakened inside of Elf9? Maybe Elf9 is her backup body, and now Elf9 is gonna become Carol, and they're gonna have an enemy inside of their base. Or maybe she actually has more bodies stored somewhere in vats and she can resurrect. Maybe the Autoscorers can somehow revive her, or maybe she's just dead. That would be very, very surprising. Just getting rid of the most powerful villain in the middle of the season. And who would the villain be for the remainder of it? Right? That doesn't work that well. So I'm assuming Carol isn't dead, and she's gonna come back with a vengeance. Yeah, yeah. Also, one more thing is I'm very curious about Maria, because she muttered to herself that, oh, the power to get rid of evil or something along those lines, and maybe she will actually decide to repair her sister's relic and to use its Ignite version. That's gonna be cool. That's gonna be curious. I'm also very curious about Shirabe and Ichika. Ichika? Kirika. Shirabe, sorry. Kirika and Shirabe, yeah. I'm very curious about them and their relics. I'm assuming they also be turned into Ignite versions, but what's the relationship between Ignite version of a relic and Linker? Will they still need a Linker? If so, can maybe Elf9 create some alchemical Linker that maybe has longer duration, or maybe has lesser burden on their bodies? Or maybe it's just universal and doesn't need to be tailored to each and single every user. Or maybe the relics are just gonna be able to be used without any linker, but perhaps at a lower power output. Right? They won't be able to harness the full power of the relics without the linker, but using the relics without linker won't result in their death essentially. Eventually. Some very, very interesting things we can still go for. And yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I know I don't have to. I can watch episode 7 right now if I wanted to. But you guys are waiting every week. And so am I going to be waiting. So I guess that's it. So you guys, you tell me down in the comments below, what did you think of this episode, of my reaction, of my theories? No spoilers, please, I beg of you. Don't spoil the fun for me, don't spoil the fun for yourselves. If you do want to talk spoilers, my Discord server is open. It's here, it's also linked in the description. You can join the Symphogear channel and use spoiler tags and talk about spoilers, and I won't read them. Simple as. But you will be able to talk about spoily stuff with other fellow Symphogear fans. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Symphogear but also Yofukashi no Uta Call of the Night, a beautiful show, highly recommend everybody watches it, of Overlord Season 4, Hataraku Mao-sama Season 2, Ruby Ice Queendom, and a mystery show that my patrons are voting for right now. Or maybe it's not a mystery anymore if you're watching it on YouTube. Probably the poll will be done by that time. I don't know. If it's done, you know what this mystery show is. If it's not done, you don't know what the mystery show is. Simple as, again. I don't know. I'm overusing the term, the phrase simple as. I don't know. I guess it's just my phrase of the day. What else? You can support the channel if you want, monetarily. Down in the description is links to Patreon, links to Throne, so you can use that on Patreon. For $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonals like Symphogear, like the mystery show. For $5 you get to vote in the polls, like the one that's going on for the mystery show. And for just $1 you get a role on the Discord, and you also get a place in the credits. On Throne you can pitch into some new gear for me, like a camera, like a cam link, like new lighting, stuff like that. I'm still experimenting with it, so I'm still not sure how to use it, but it is there if you want. And if you don't want to spend money, you can just share my videos and spread the word about my content, send people links and pester them to watch my stuff. Word of mouth really matters a lot for the growth of a channel, so I'm grateful if you shared my video even once. It really matters a lot. And yeah, with all that said, I think that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's the credits that I mentioned. The list keeps only getting bigger, and you can help expand it even further if you so desire.